Hi everyone, I'm just back to do a project sharing to show you a couple little crafting tips. Um, this is a little wall hanging that I've made, and the inspiration was this beautiful ribbon which I've had in my stash for a while, and I know I bought it from Craft Supplies for You, and I know they still have it in the store, and I have it in white as well. It's super pretty, and I was just waiting for the perfect thing to put it on. I found this image on Pinterest and I just fell in love with it. I just thought it was so cute, and with Easter coming up, I thought, oh, with a little bunny, it's so cute. So it's about a six-inch wall hanging. It's small. It could actually be hung on a door as well. And I started out with a doily that I had received in a pack of doilies from somewhere. I can't remember where. I've had it in my stash for a while. And it wasn't as big as I wanted to, so I just went around and picked up stitches and then added this ruffly trim on the edge that I crocheted. And so added that to make it the right size. And then I added these little bit of this pinky colored, it was a collar actually I've had in my stash, and I just put that on, peeking out there, and then another crocheted trim that I made, and then this is the Hobby Lobby trim, which I'm sure a lot of you recognize. I'm lucky enough to live close enough to the border that I have friends that go across frequently, so they've picked me up some. And little pink flowers, little leaves with they're white with a pink edge on them, and some little paper roses here, and these I've just put stickles on, and I've put some stickles on her dress here. She has little flowers on her dress, and I just stickled them just to make them pop a little more. I love stickles because you can add them to just anything you want on your product, and I like the Stardust one, and I buy mine on Amazon, and I love it. And I this is the little ribbon here with a kind of a picot edge, and I cut a tiny piece off and made it look like it was tied around her ear, and then added this teeny tiny little bow and one of my little acrylic flowers. And on the edge here, I know they might be hard to see, but there's these tiny little butterflies that are actually part of it was a trim that I got. I've had in my stash for forever, and I'm getting low on it, so I'm sad because I've tried. I don't know anyone who has it. Don't know where. I've had it for a long time. And I cut each individual one off, and then I just put one of these teeny tiny little acrylic flowers in. I've got 3 flying up on this side and 3 more flying up on this side of the wall hanging. And a bigger butterfly. This is one of the ones. This is just from the Dollar Tree. They look they're shabby, really shabby looking if you like the shabby look, but I trimmed off all the little bits that were around the edges, cleaned it all up, and then I added one of my little beaded butterflies in the center. And then I did a cluster of flowers, which I've shown you, and then this gorgeous bow, which I just love, this organza ribbon with these beads on it. It's so pretty. And I was able to cut and trim the edges really nicely on it, and with a beaded trim you do have to be careful with that, so that's just a little tip that I'll tell you about. What you do is you want to put a dot of glue, whatever glue you like to use, but I like hot glue because I can use a non-stick spatula, whatever you have, and after you put your dot of glue on there, you just press this onto the back and just hold that there for 10 seconds. And then when you take it off, it has sealed all the beads and everything in at the back and all the threads, and it's clear. You can't even see it, and you can hardly feel it. And so now you can cut right up to where those beads end, and you won't have any loose beads falling off. And so whenever you buy a trim or have something that's beaded, you can do that same sort of thing, and it seals it really nicely. So that's the first project I wanted to share with you, a little crafty tip. And the second one is a box. I love upcycling boxes. I'm always keeping them. I'm in a much smaller space now, living in a much smaller space, so I have to watch how much I hoard, but boxes are very hard for me to give up. And I've covered this with a really pretty paper and a little bit of ribbon on the bottom. And these are just flat back acrylics. And then I've put a flat back pearl on top of that to make the little feet. Trim on the back with some flat back pearls. Trim on the side, of course. And it's nice because when you put the lace over top the paper, it just helps it to be stronger and not so vulnerable to water splashes or anything. So it holds it up nicer, makes it stronger, and it mutes it because this lace has a bit of a mesh, same as on the top, and so it mutes down the color. So it's kind of nice. And added a few little pearls. I buy my flatback pearls. I have to admit, on eBay, I wait like 3 months to get them, but I get them in every single size possible. So like these are itty bitty little tiny ones. I think they're like a 1 millimeter, which I don't even know what that is in regular size, but itty tiny, tiny, tiny. And then they graduate up in size so that I have them in I get them usually in the off-white and the white in a bunch of colors. And it maybe comes to, less than $10, and then I have to wait forever. So these are tiny little beads, the tiny little flatbacks, and I've actually made them into clusters and put them on. And I'll show you because it's actually easier if you have the right tool to use when you're applying flatbacks onto lace. And I'll show you how I do that. And then this is one of the butterfly appliques, and I'll show you a plain one, and this is embellished, and I just think they look so pretty embellished. And the edge of the box, and then the inside I've just laced the edge, and then I've put there's a bit of pink in the top, so I put a soft pinky. It kind of looks almost more peachy on the camera, but it's a pinky color similar to the top, light pink. And then I put the little white flowers in the corners, so anything can go in here. And I like having these on hand because you can give any kind of little gift inside there, and it makes a nice gift. The closure on this one, I always do them different every time. I like to do something different, but this one I had this pink stretchy lace, and so I made like a stretchy belly band, and it fits actually really easily over the box and positions in such a way that you can still have it in the middle of the box and still see the edge of that butterfly coming out there, and makes it easy enough to open and close, and it's very pretty. So I'm just going to show you how I do those butterfly appliques. This is what they look like. They're very plain. This one I've taken the antennae off because of what I have planned for it. This is one that I just did the embellishments on to get it ready, and I've done it's a light bluey gray pearl, and then flat back, and then some little white ones, and then these are these little AB flat back crystals. So that one's ready to go on a project. And this one, I just started doing it. And actually, the reason it started is because this is my second go at this video, because it didn't work out the first time. So it was flipped the wrong way. It flipped. Anyways, there's challenges doing YouTube videos, just so you know. It's not as straightforward as you might think. You think you're doing fine, and then you go and look at it and you're like, oh. So I had started doing that one side, and so I'm going to show you on the other side. You need a pickup tool to pick up these flatbacks easily, and then it doesn't pick up, to put them on projects. And the bigger the flatback, the harder it is to pick it up. The small ones actually pick up really easy because they stick really quick. The bigger ones are a little heavier, so when you go to pick them up, you kind of have to make sure they're stuck on. And a lot of the pickup tools on the market are very expensive. But I found this hack, and I don't remember where, but I saw this hack once for this poster tack, and you can get a package of it, and there's a huge amount in here, like a flat piece about that big that you break little pieces off of to roll in your fingers, and then you can put it on the back of posters to stick on the wall. This is from the dollar store, so this was $1.25 here in Canada, but $1.25, and you could make a bazillion of these, and you don't just throw them out after one use either. So you break a little piece off, you roll it in your fingers and get it nice and soft, and then you just roll it onto a toothpick, or you could use a bamboo skewer if you want something a little longer. And it's sticky, just sticky enough that it works really well to pick up these little flat backs. And it doesn't fall off, and then you can place them on when you're doing projects. And that's how I did these as well. So I just put one in the center, and then this one's a little bit bigger, and then I surrounded it with smaller ones. And you only need a tiny amount of glue, and you're able to embellish. And so I'm just going to put sugar on it. I have a detail glue gun, and I have learned exactly, because it takes a little bit of practice when you're using small amounts of glue to press. It's all about how much you press on that trigger, and you really hardly need any pressure at all on that trigger. And then you can hold it in your hands because there's so little glue on there, it's not even going through the applique. And then with this little thing, you just picking up, it's super easy, and you can place them on. And as soon as you've got them picked up, and even you can use it to flip them over, which of course sometimes is a challenge because they don't want to flip. And of course they're not going to flip because I'm on camera. So a tiny, and I barely am touching that trigger, and the glue will come to the end, and you just put that on. And then I do the swirl because it gets rid of the long glue strings that trail on, and they're a pain. And then place your gem on. And so you can go around, and you can, I don't do too many at one time, too many dots. I usually do 3 at the most, because otherwise what happens is your glue dries, and then your gems are not going to stick. So don't get ahead of yourself in that. And you know too that if you get a lot of glue strings and you're not happy, you can just use a blow dryer, or if you have a heating tool, I think too, but you have to stay back with a heating tool. I don't have one of those heating tools, so I just use my blow dryer, and you just lightly go over it with your blow dryer, and they all just disappear, they melt away. But doing the twirl with your glue gun really does help with the glue strings. And so you just keep going around, and whatever pattern you want. With this one, I put 3 at the bottom of the wing, and then one of these little stones up higher, and left these 2 little spots open on the bottom of the wing. This one, I've gone every other one, and I can go in between with pearls if I want on there. Just have fun with it. I mean, it's just kind of a creative thing that you can do, and you embellish these more plain butterfly appliques into something a little bit more fancy. And the same with this one on here. I did in purple and pink in the colors of the box. And yeah, just adds a little something. With this one, I only was planning to go around the edge, because my plan is, and why I cut the antennae off, I left them on this one. This one I took them off because I'm going to put one of my beaded butterflies right in the center of there. And now you have this beautiful little butterfly that you can put on a project. My beaded butterflies, I don't have that many videos up, so it's only a couple back. You can find it if you haven't seen that video, and go and have a look at that one as well. And you can see how I make these little beaded butterflies. They're really simple and fun to add to projects. So I hope that you've found that information useful, and that you might give it a try, and that you can make yourself your own little pickup tool real easy. And I'm going to make an announcement today that I have been chosen to be on the Craft Supplies for You guest design team, and I will be using supplies. I already use supplies from her store because I've been shopping from Craft Supplies for You for probably close to 2 years, and I love her products. I think that she offers, sorry, I bumped the camera. She offers a great amount of products, and it's really nice for Canadians. For those of you that are Canadian, we don't have a lot of choices up here for getting craft supplies. And what's offered in the craft supplies for used stores is just, there's so much product to be offered, and at really, really good prices. Even with the exchange, it's still a really good deal. And I'm really happy to be someone's been chosen to promote her store, because I think it's a really good option. And you can buy your supplies from her, and I'll be showcasing laces and trims and acrylics and metals. She's got all kinds of things in her store. So I'm going to be making projects and showing you that over the next 3 months. And I'm really excited about that. If you've subscribed to my channel, I appreciate that. Thank you. And if you haven't, if you would, I would appreciate that as well. And I hope you guys are all having a great day, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks. Bye.